this verse, the Buddha described the sorrow of one who performs unwholesome deeds. Regret and inner disturbance arise in this life, and suffering follows beyond it. That teaching reminded us of the weight of harmful action. Now, in verse 16, the Buddha presents the direct opposite, the joy that arises from wholesome conduct. Where wrongdoing leads to grief, goodness leads to gladness. This verse completes the pair and reveals the natural happiness that comes from purity of action.
Ida modati, pecca modati, kata punyo ubayatta modati, so modati, so pamodati, disva kamma visuddhim attano.
Here he rejoices, and after death he rejoices. The doer of good rejoices in both worlds. He rejoices and is delighted, seeing the purity of his own actions. The Buddha says that the doer of good rejoices here and rejoices hereafter. Unlike the wrongdoer who is troubled by regret, the person who acts skillfully experiences lightness of heart. This joy is not dependent on praise or recognition. It arises internally, from knowing that one has acted with integrity. When actions are rooted in generosity, kindness, and wisdom, the mind remains undisturbed. The verse says that such a person rejoices and delights upon seeing the purity of their own actions. This joy is not pride, it is clarity. It is the quiet confidence that comes from living in harmony with the Dhamma. When we act with mindfulness and compassion, there is nothing to hide, nothing to fear. The mind rests easily. Even in difficulty, there is a steady inner assurance. The Buddha's teaching here highlights the immediate fruit of wholesome action. Before any future result appears, the mind already benefits. There is ease, freedom from anxiety, and a natural gladness. This verse also points to the deeper law of karma. Actions shape both present experience and future outcome. When conduct is pure, the path ahead becomes brighter. The joy described here is stable, not excited. It is the joy of a clear conscience, the happiness of alignment between intention and action. In this way, the Buddha shows us that ethical living is not restriction, but liberation. It frees the heart from regret and fills it with quiet confidence. Verse 15 showed us the grief that follows unwholesome deeds. Verse 16 reveals the joy that follows wholesome action. When our conduct is pure, the mind is light. When our intentions are kind, the heart is at peace. The Buddha reminds us that happiness is not found in external gain, but in the purity of our own actions. If these reflections support your path in the Dhamma, you are warmly welcome to subscribe and continue exploring the Buddha's teachings, one verse at a time.